friends, welcome back to Mimi's Mixed Bag. Thank you so much for stopping back by, and if this is your first video of mine and like what you see, would love for you to hit that subscribe button. Today I'm bringing you my first spring project of 2022, and let me tell you what inspired me. I was walking through my local Dollar Tree and I came across one of these plastic wreath boards. These are not new, they've been out for some time, but I've never seen them in my store, and I thought it'd be fun to show you how to use this if you don't know. I know you've seen those oversized mesh flowers that people hang on their doors during the spring and summer. I've seen them in little girls' rooms and things like that. So there's several places you could hang one of those big flowers, but I think they're so pretty for the spring, and I want to hang one on my back porch or somewhere. And when I saw this, I knew I wanted to make one. So for $5, you can make one of these oversized flowers that really looks like you paid $30 or $40 for it at a craft show. All right, so there's my board. You're going to need 3 rolls of mesh from the Dollar Tree, and then you're going to need 11 pipe cleaners. I usually try to get my pipe cleaners as close to my mesh as possible, but it's really not that necessary because they're not going to show. But red was as close as I could get, and it'll be fine. Now, we are going to create a center for our flower. I'm making mine out of cardboard, and I'll explain a little more about that later. So the first thing I need to do is a little prep work. I'm going to heat up this little plastic sticker and peel that off my board. I'm going to cut my 11 pipe cleaners in half to give myself 22 pieces. And then now I have to cut this mesh. This mesh is 5 yards long, and I'm going to cut them into 10-inch pieces. So I should be able to yield 18 pieces out of each roll. There's a few different ways you can cut this mesh. You could just use scissors. If you have a rotary cutter, a new popular way that people are doing is using a wood burner if you happen to have one. I've just never spent the $15 to buy one because that's the only reason why I would use one, and I just don't use deco mesh enough. So I'm just going to use my scissors since this is small mesh anyway. So when I come back to you, I'll have those 3 things done. When you get done cutting them at 10 inches, you should get about 17 or 18 little rolls like this. And now I want to show you a little tip for a beginner using these wreath boards. You can take a marker and connect 2 dots. As you see here, I got connected here. And what this does is once you start doing this mesh, these dots sometimes get a little distorted to you, and you just can't see them as well. So what I like to do is go around and just connect 2 of the holes. I was calling them dots, but connect 2 of the holes, and that'll show you where you're connecting the bundles. And that way, as I'm attaching my little petals, I won't be confused on what goes where. I've got 22 of the holes connected. I'm actually just going to gather up corner to corner diagonal. There's a dozen different ways you can do this mesh. Some people fold them to make different types of petals, but I just find it easier that I kind of like daisy look, and daisies tend to have a pointed petal, and so that's the reason why I do the corner to corner. Now with this being Dollar Tree mesh, I'll be honest with you, it's a little thin than just higher quality mesh. So I'm going to double mine up. I've got enough out of 3 of the rolls. So I'm going to take 2 of my pieces, fold them in half, twist it a little bit, and then I'm going to take my tails and attach it to the wreath board. I have exactly enough by cutting the pipe cleaners in half and just twist it together. I'm going to do it one more time. Diagonal, corner to corner. It doesn't have to be perfect because once they're all smushed together, it just forms the petal. I'm going to fold them in half, take my pipe cleaner, twist it like a bread tie, like once, attach it to the wreath board. All right, I'm just checking in now that I've got my outer ring done. It took 9 little bundles. So just layer upon layer will help cover up the board. All right, I've got row 2 done. and it's starting to fill in a little bit. Now, as you can see, you are going to still have some like bald spots in certain areas, and we're going to fill those in with the extra pieces we have in the end. But now we're ready to move in closer to row 3, and we're just going to go by the lines I have connected. All right, I've got my 3rd row in now, and I want to stop for a second because technically I have 3 more little bundles to do right here where my lines are connected. But as some of you may know, there are different qualities of mesh, just like there is with burlap or anything else. Since I'm working with Dollar Tree mesh, it's just looser and thinner and just not as full as other mesh is, like from Hobby Lobby. Since my center of my flower is going to go here, I'm going to take those bundles and distribute them here in these little bald areas. I think that's where I need to use those because my flower center is going to go here anyway, so there's no reason to put bundles there. Now, I'm going to put 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, and 2 here, and I think that will give me the fullness that I need. This is an easy fix. I'm still using the 3 rolls of Dollar Tree mesh, but I'm just having to distribute it a little differently and not put any under my flower center. Got all of my mesh bundles on there now, and you still may need to do a little bit of adjusting and tweaking because they do want to kind of twist and turn on you a little bit so you can get them how you want them to make them look like, you know, flower petals. But for $3 of mesh, this looks great. All right, now I did adjust my flower center a little bit, and I'm going to make a 6-inch cardboard center. Now, there's a variety of ways you could cover this. I've seen people just cover it with burlap only and hot glue it in there. I've seen people coil jute rope all around. That makes a great looking center. You could do acorn tops. You could do pistachio shells. Anything you can come up with to give it that textured flower center. I happen to have a bag of these little flat back beads that I think I'm going to use, and spray paint it white, hot glue it in place, and I'll be ready to hang it up and show you. All right, friends, it's the next morning here, and it is a yucky rainy day here in the Mid-South, but I'm going to back up here and show you my little ray of sunshine on my front door for this spring. Look how cute this turned out for $5 and maybe an hour's worth of work. This oversized spring flower, and I even stuck a little butterfly on there. I found this in my stash. Dollar Tree sells them in a pack of 2, but that was just the perfect little cherry on top for my flower. This looks like something that you would pay quadruple the price for at a craft show. So I hope you can look up and find the wreath board and 3 rolls of mesh and create yourself this oversized flower. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back in a few days with something else fun to share. Bye-bye.